Chronicles of the Digital Wild. Deciphering the diagnostic signs of systemic infection, reading the distress signals. Understanding the diverse variations of malicious code lurking in the shadows is only half the battle. In the theater of cybersecurity, malware rarely operates without leaving a trace. Like a biological pathogen working through a living host, digital infections manifest through structural anomalies, operational friction, and sudden behavioral shifts. Regardless of the exact strain of malware that has breached a system's defenses, the compromised architecture will inevitably begin to exhibit telltale distress signals. Recognizing these universal symptoms early is the defining factor between an easily contained incident and a catastrophic systemic collapse. The toll of corporate fatigue. Central Processing Unit CPU usage, one of the earliest and most profound shifts within an infected device, occurs deep inside its computational heart. Unprovoked, dramatic. Serves as a primary indicator that a hidden entity has commandeered the host. As the malware diverts critical cycles to execute its own malicious objectives, whether mining cryptocurrency, encrypting system databases, or indexing files for exfiltration, the device is starved of resources. Consequently, operations that once felt instantaneous begin to lag, slowing the entire user environment to a frustrating, heavily degraded crawl. Systemic paralysis. When this internal resource starvation reaches a critical threshold, the system moves past mere sluggishness and enters a state of. The machine begins freezing mid-operation, refusing to register keyboard inputs or mouse clicks. These periods of stagnation often culminate in frequent, sudden crashes, forcing the operating system to completely collapse and reboot. This volatile behavior is a clear symptom of underlying instability, indicating that malicious code is actively disrupting vital low-level operating frameworks. Throttling of web browsing speed. This operational exhaustion quickly spills over into the user's connection to the outside world, presenting as a significant. Even on high-bandwidth networks, web browsers begin to hang endlessly on simple queries. This artificial friction occurs because the resident malware is actively hijacking data pipelines, packing its stolen insights into outbound streams, or pulling down heavy secondary payloads from external command and control servers, leaving the legitimate user with nothing but a trickling connection. Anomalies in communication and identity. Network connections. As an infection deepens, the anomalies expand outward from internal hardware fatigue into the broader network ecosystem. Users will frequently encounter highly unexplainable disruptions within their local network. Shares suddenly drop offline, secure internet gateways reject regular traffic, and corporate internal links become highly erratic. These bizarre connection faults often signal that the malware has subverted the local network configuration, rewriting DNS tables or establishing unauthorized proxy tunnels to shield its malicious communication network. Involuntary compromise of digital identity. Perhaps the most socially destructive manifestation of network manipulation involves without the user's knowledge, authorization, or consent, outbound mail servers will record a flurry of emails being broadcast from the victim's account. The compromised machine is transformed into an active node for digital contagion, blasting out phishing text, corrupted hyperlinks, and hostile attachments to colleagues, trusted clients, and personal contacts. This turns the victim into an unwitting accomplice in the propagation of the threat across the enterprise landscape. The shifting digital reality. Files modified or deleted in the final stages of systemic entrenchment. Malware begins to aggressively alter the host's actual environment, resulting in a state of digital gaslighting. Users will wake up to find highly critical, entirely without human intervention. Corporate documents lose their formatting, access permissions mutate overnight, and essential data paths vanish. This arbitrary data manipulation is typically a clear symptom of a malicious script clearing out logs, destroying system backups, or systematically locking down files to prepare for a ransom demand. Presence of unknown apparitions. Simultaneously, the physical workspace begins to show signs of visual corruption through the unknown background processes, unidentified software applications. Unfamiliar desktop shortcuts and cryptic files begin materializing on the system storage drives. These unexpected artifacts are accompanied by a shadowy undercurrent within the system's administrative console, a legion of running under highly deceptive, obscured names. These phantom tasks operate continuously, draining RAM and maintaining absolute control over the machine's underlying systems. Rebellion of installed software. The climax of this hostile architectural takeover is marked by a blatant. Trusted programs, particularly endpoint protection utilities, antivirus suites, and built-in firewalls, begin turning off entirely or reconfiguring themselves without warning. The malware actively strips away the system's immune responses, modifying security rules and disabling real-time monitoring modules to ensure that its hostile occupation can continue indefinitely without discovery. Diagnostic reflection. Digital systems are inherently logical. When a machine begins to stutter, drop connections, alter its own file configurations, or broadcast silent communications, it is not experiencing random bad luck. It is speaking the complex language of systemic distress, treating these visual and operational friction points as minor inconveniences rather than indicators of a potential breach is the primary oversight that allows modern malware to turn a temporary foothold into an absolute enterprise-wide catastrophe.
Bạn muốn học mạng máy tính nhanh hơn, hiệu quả hơn và có người đồng hành xuyên suốt? Khóa học mạng máy tính 1-1 sẽ mang đến cho bạn một giảng viên hướng dẫn riêng, xây dựng lộ trình học phù hợp với trình độ và mục tiêu của bạn. Bạn sẽ được thực hành liên tục trên các bài lab thực tế, rèn luyện kỹ năng cấu hình và xử lý sự cố mạng như trong doanh nghiệp. Với lịch học linh hoạt, hỗ trợ tận tình và tập trung 100% vào sự tiến bộ của từng học viên, bạn sẽ tự tin chinh phục chứng chỉ kỹ sư mạng quốc tế và sẵn sàng bước vào sự nghiệp quản trị mạng doanh nghiệp. Khóa học mạng máy tính 1-1 học đúng trọng tâm, thực hành chuyên sâu, sẵn sàng cho công việc thực tế.